Good morning, live. How are you guys doing today? It is your boy, Billy Rowe. Whew, it's Wednesday. It's time for the Wednesday Word. I'm going to start off always with this video now, just reminding you guys that these videos are going to be posted as well on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/first row. That's 1STWROE. Check me out there, subscribe. Let's get into it. So today's video is about how to overcome opposition against all odds. Opposition. Wow, a lot of people are awake this morning. Good morning, everybody. Opposition against all odds. So typically what happens when we are confronted with opposition or when we are confronted with adversity, whether you want to consider opposition or adversity, we typically choose to combat that adversity or combat that opposition with force, whether that force be words, whether that force be physical, or whether it be passive aggressive. So how to overcome opposition, what caused me to think about this is kind of like the political climate that is taking place currently in the country. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear, really, about what is to come and what is taking place currently in the political atmosphere, in the political climate. So I had to kind of take a step back because it's easy to get caught up with the trend and what's trending and what's today's fear that everybody wants to share and feel connected with. I had to kind of take a step back and say, what are my feelings? What are the things that are important to me? And then take an additional step back and say, let me try to understand the other side. So there was a book, and I was thinking about this quote, but I can't remember the book that I was reading it in, so I apologize. But the book, I believe it might be The Art of War, where it says, if you have an opponent, don't go to your opponent fighting your opponent with your opponent's best weapons. Take the weapons that they are unfamiliar with. So in war, if I don't have a tank, so I'm not going to go and start a fight with somebody who has a tank and say, let's use tanks for the fighting mechanism. But what I do have when I'm dealing with opposition is I have a voice, and I have ears, and I have eyes, and I have this mouth that can articulate the thoughts that come from my brain. So how you overcome opposition against all odds when you're outnumbered, when the odds are not in your favor, is you use the skills that are in your favor. Your ability to listen, your ability to process the information that you hear and put yourself in another person's shoes. So to be able to see the battle from your opponent's perspective or the opposition's perspective allows you to have a understanding of what you're actually up against. And the reality is actually, as you try to understand what you're up against from the perspective of where they're standing, you start to have either an appreciation or at least a deeper understanding of what it is you're trying to change. So I'm going to use an example that took place a couple of weeks ago. There was a post that was going on a friend's page, and there was a trend, a post that just went, to me, in my opinion, just kind of out of control. It was like 100 posts later, there were just people that were just arguing, and it really didn't seem like anybody wanted to hear either's opinion. So for me, rather than going in with the opposition and saying, hey, look, I'm right, and here's why I'm right, because if I start off with I'm right, then that means you're wrong if you don't agree with what I'm right about. So instead of doing that, I tried to take a step back and put myself in the position of the person whose opinion I didn't necessarily agree with. And again, it's their opinion to have. So when you're trying to change opinions, you're working with something deeper than just what somebody thinks. There's a lot that comes around a person's opinion. So what I did is I read a few times the things that the person was saying to try to understand where they were coming from. And in understanding where they were coming from, it taught me oh, they don't come from a place where being attacked is going to be a healthy response to what they're saying. So what I ended up doing is I ended up having, because by the time I even got to the post to articulate my thoughts, I ended up having to send this person a private message because they were no longer on that thread. And in sending them that private message, it opened up a dialogue. And I was very clear and upfront that I wasn't there to attack them. I wasn't there to change their opinion. And I was there to get an understanding of their opinion so that I could understand more opinions that are contrary or counter my opinion. So, when dealing with opposition, in order to overcome it with all odds, the first step in genuine step is understanding. Understanding what you are opposed to or what is opposed to you. Once you understand that, then you can move forward on either reconciling that situation or truly engaging in that situation in order to attempt to change it. So, I really don't have a whole lot of time this morning, but I want you guys to think about that as you go through your days, whether you're interacting with your bosses, you're interacting with your spouse, your significant other, you're interacting with customer service people, whatever it may be. If you have any issue today, I want you to be thinking about where the person on the other side of this issue is coming from and understanding that it might be their job to make sure that the company doesn't get ripped off. And it doesn't mean that you're trying to steal from them, but that is the side that they're coming from. So how do you reassure them that you're not against the company getting ripped off? You're not against their particular opinion, but you want to have an open and honest dialogue that creates an understanding, a mutual understanding of both sides. So that's pretty much it this morning. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. This is Billy Rowe. As I always say, if you like it, share it, like it. I'm always happy to get engaged in the comments. If you're dealing with something, jump in the comments. We could talk about it, try to work through it, maybe strategize on how to rectify that situation. Later on, maybe either today or tomorrow, I'm kind of in the air, but I'm thinking about doing a Facebook Live where it's just a Q&A where you can jump in, ask questions, and we can tackle those questions live on the thread because unfortunately only one person can talk at a time. But let me know what your thoughts are about that. Excuse me. Let me know what your thoughts are about that, and then we'll set that up. So anyway, I'll see you guys in 7 days. I love you. Take care. Be blessed.